In the headlines, bandits kill 7 in Benue Community. 10 killed as bus collides with a truck in Kwara State. Supreme Court reserves judgment in Caleb Mutfwang's appeal. On the foreign scene, Gabriel Attal becomes France's youngest prime minister at the age of 34. Hello there, good evening and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We start the update in Benue State, where bandits have reportedly killed 7 persons in 3 villages of Logo local government area of the state. According to reports from local sources, the separate attacks were carried out by suspected herders on Sunday in Imchia, Arufu and Chembe villages of Logo local government area in Benue State. A community leader in one of the areas says the killing at Imchia took place in the morning, adding that some corpses have been recovered while some persons are still missing. The community source also further stated that the second attack took place at night between Arufu and Chembe villages, adding that the bandits shot at commercial vehicles heading to another community. He says passengers suffered various degrees of injuries following the shooting and are now receiving medical attention at a hospital. The police spokesperson in Benue State, Seswese Anene, was yet to respond to inquiries about the development. The police in Ogun State have confirmed the abduction of a 70-year-old man. According to the police commissioner in the state, the victim, Adeife Efelaja, is an elder at the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Ijebu, Igbo. Now, he was kidnapped while on his way to a church crossover service held on New Year's Eve. The commissioner of police in the state assured operatives of the command were working round the clock to ensure the return of the victim to his family unhurt. Kwara State governor has called on the federal government to strengthen the Nigerian Navy to enhance professionalism and the discharge of their duties. The governor made the call while hosting the Chief of Naval Staff on Monday at the government house in Yenagoa. From Bielsa, Trust TV's Friday, Ebimobowe Peter has more.
Represented by his deputy Lawrence Rijakbo, Governor Doyuduri said it is important for the federal government to review the ideals of using non-state actors to protect national assets in the state maritime domain. While he expressed worry over the security threat it will cause the state and the country at large, he stressed the need for the Nigerian Navy to be properly equipped, saying the Navy is better professionally to provide security for the country's national asset without any form of sabotage that will lead to environmental pollution.
We believe that what we are doing currently, we are inadvertently releasing militias who are not coordinated and supervised. We have had incidents of these people in the name of protecting oil contracts, raid our communities and molest people and molest our wives and children and even sack some communities in the name of they are going there to look for. If the Navy is strengthened, you have the capacity to do that. And I believe, and I want to insist, that the Navy must be allowed to play that role, and exclusively that role. I do not believe that we should begin to raise up militias. You will be surprised that we'll get to a point these people, non-state actors, will not try to challenge us.
Earlier, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ugala, said Bielsa State play a cardinal role in the Navy's quest to achieve its mandate of protecting national assets in the country due to the number of multinational companies operating in the maritime domain of the Niger Delta region.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he took over from office, one of the primary tasks that he gave to us is to ensure that we provide the enabling environment to enable the oil companies to be able to do their job in such a way that will increase oil production with the overall objective of increasing revenue for the development of this country.
Vice Admiral Ogala, while appreciating the state government for providing an enabling environment for the Navy to operate, called for support from host communities in the area, information sharing to enable the Navy fight against economic sabotage.
To acknowledge the unflinching support of the governor and the government of Bayelsa State and the communities and the people of Bayelsa State as a whole. They have given us the enabling environment, they have provided the resources, even committed the state's resources. And we want to seek the support of the people also to continue to cooperate with us, particularly in the area of providing intelligence, in the area of providing information that will enable us to turn the tide against those criminals who are hell-bent on distorting the nation's economy.
The Bayelsa State government also pledged the state's continuous support to the Nigerian Navy to ensure it performs effectively in the state. From Yenagoa, Friday, Ebumobowe Peter, Trust TV News, Yenagoa.
Now, 10 persons have been confirmed dead following a fatal accident involving a bus and a truck in Kwara State. Reports say the bus was on its way to Sokoto when the truck was heading to Lagos collided with it on the highway. The incident occurred around 6:40 a.m. on Monday along the Oloru-Okolowo axis, involving a Volvo truck and a Toyota Hiace bus. 20 persons, 15 male, 4 females and 1 child were involved in the ghastly accident. Those who lost their lives include 5 women, 4 men and a child, while the remaining 10 persons sustained various degrees of injuries. The State Commandant of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Stephen Daulong, who confirmed the incident, attributed it to wrongful overtaking by the driver of the truck, leading to a head-on collision. In other news, the anti-graft agency EFCC has begun questioning the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Bette Edu, over alleged 585 million naira disbursement fraud. The suspended minister arrived at the headquarters of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Jabi, Abuja at around 11 a.m. according to news sources. Edu was caught in a 585 million naira disbursement scandal involving the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry, attracting widespread criticism from right groups and activists. The predicament of the 37-year-old was worsened when the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madin, confirmed that although her office received a request from the Humanitarian Ministry to make certain payments, her office did not act on it. On Monday, the president wielded his authority, suspending the minister with immediate effect, making his party's ex-national women leader the first to be suspended from his cabinet, inaugurated back in August of last year. Edu is the youngest in the president's cabinet before her suspension and was a fast-rising star in the political space, having occupied state and national offices. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the appeal filed by Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State, seeking to overturn the verdict of the Court of Appeal, which nullified his election victory. A 5-member panel of justices led by Justice John Okoro reserved the judgment after hearing arguments from both parties on the appeal. The governor, through his counsel, Kanu Agabi, prayed the court to uphold the judgment of the tribunal and set aside the judgment of the appellate court, because the respondents have no right to question how a party elects its state executives. He says the respondents, Nentawe Goshwe and the All Progressives Congress, cannot plead that the governor did not score the number of lawful votes ascribed to him, at the same time say the election was invalid. The APC and its candidate, on their part, argue that Mutfwang's People's Democratic Party, PDP, in disobedience of a valid court order that directed them to conduct congresses in 17 local government areas of the state, only conducted 5 before going into the March governorship election. Staying with the courts, the Supreme Court on Tuesday also reserved judgment in the appeals by the Social Democratic Party, the Labour Party and the All Progressive Congress, APC, challenging the victory of Governor Sheriff Oborivori. An appeal court's judgment in November had also affirmed his election victory with a 3-member tribunal headed by Justice C.H. Achuagu, dismissing the petition filed by former Deputy President of the Nigerian Senate, Ovie Omoagege. The tribunal held that the petition contained unsubstantiated allegations, noting that it was speculative and devoid of merit. Elsewhere, Justice Omotosho James of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered that Professor Cyril Ndifong, the suspended dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Calabar, be removed, or rather be remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center pending the conclusion of his bail application on January the 10th. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission had arraigned the suspended dean in court on 4-count charges over alleged sexual misconduct against some of his students. In a statement by the spokesperson of the anti-graft agency, Azuka Ugwagu, the ICPC says the Don pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him in court. Counsel for the defendant, Okong Efut, had prayed that the defendant be granted bail as the application for that had been filed on his behalf since January 2nd, 2024. The statement added that the counsel for the ICPC opposed the bail application on the grounds that one of the lawyers representing the defendant had allegedly threatened one of the star witnesses of ICPC in the trial. Now, a senior magistrate court in Minna, the Niger State capital, has sentenced a 55-year-old man in Rafi local government area of the state to life imprisonment for unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. The convict was standing trial for unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor, as well as infecting the victim with a sexual transmitted disease. 2 witnesses and 2 exhibits, including the confessional statement of the convict and medical report of the health status of the victim from the police clinic in Minna, were taken by the court before the prosecution closed the case for ruling. The convict, however, chose not to enter his defense, admitting his offense. Delivering the judgment on Tuesday, the judge, Hafsat Abdullahi Bawa, says though the plea for leniency from the accused was considered by the court, the convict deserved life imprisonment, considering the magnitude of the offense as well as the victim's present state of health, following the stigma the survivor would likely carry for life. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come. Construction project raises controversy in Kano. More on this and many other stories coming up ahead after the break.
Join us for the 21st Daily Trust Dialogue and presentation of the 2023 African of the Year. This year's theme, Tinubu's Economic Reforms, Gainers and Losers, will be chaired by Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, former Minister of National Planning. Guest speakers, Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. Dr. Victoria Akai, Immediate Past Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Comrade Joe Ajero, President, Nigerian Labour Congress. This event takes place at NAF Conference Center and Suites, Kado Expressway, Abuja on Thursday, 25th of January 2024, 10 a.m. Attendance is free, and you can watch the live broadcast on Star Times Channel 164 or Nicomsat free to air. For sponsorship, branding, and participation, please contact 081-5176-4600 or 080-3392-8902. Don't miss this insightful dialogue shaping the economic landscape in Nigeria.
Welcome back to the news. Let's take another look at the top stories. Bandits have attacked and killed 7 people across Benue communities. 10 passengers have been killed after a bus and a truck collided on a highway in Kwara. The Federal Ministry of Education has inaugurated an interministerial committee to combat the activities of degree mills in Nigeria. The Ministry Director of Press and Public Relations, Ben Gong, made this known in a notice sent to journalists in Abuja. The activities of degree mills once again came to the center of discussions in Nigeria following an investigative reporting by Umar Audu of the Daily Nigerian newspaper on the activities of degree mills in Benin Republic and Togo. The reporter had revealed how he obtained a degree within 6 weeks and proceeded to embark on a mandatory NYC service. Audu, who reached out to the syndicate that specialized in selling degree certificates in December last year, graduated in February this year, 2022, and graduated in February 2023 and was issued a Bachelor of Science in Mass Communication certificate from the École Supérieure de Gestion Technologies University in Cotonou. The report, which exposed the illegalities perpetrated by some of the tertiary institutions across some West African universities, led the Nigerian government to place a ban on the accreditation and evaluation of degrees from Benin and Togo, respectively. The Kano State government recently flagged off the construction of 2 bridges, which are expected to be funded jointly by the state and local government accounts in order to ease traffic congestion within the metropolis. In this report, Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibril takes a look at the importance of the project amidst controversy between the state and local government authorities in the state. His report.
This is Kwara State, where the 15 billion naira Clover flyover bridge is expected to be constructed. At Taludu Junction, another 12 billion naira Clover flyover bridge is also expected to be sited. Governor Abba Kabir told Kano residents that the idea is to ease traffic congestion within the city and to also beautify Kano.
The construction of these 2 flyovers, that of Taludu, at the cost of 12 billion naira. This money, as usual, is going to be shared. The project is going to be financed through joint project between the Kano State government and the 44 local governments.
However, there seems to be controversy surrounding these 2 important projects in Kano, as some local government authorities out of the 44 local government councils went to court seeking to stop Governor Yusuf from using their funds for the project.
All the previous governors that awarded contract of such magnitude awarded it through joint project with the local governments. It is nothing new. And we believe we are all working for the good people of Kano State. There is no local government that will not use these flyovers when completed.
But mixed reactions continue to trail the decision to jointly fund these projects. While some believed that the twin projects are welcome development, others argued that Kwara State in particular may worsen security situation along that area.
We in
Kwara State, we can't say we are not happy that government is building a bridge for us, is constructing a bridge for us. But we believe that it will also worsen the security situation we are having around this area. Because if they build a bridge, then you have a hole. When you have a hole, definitely it will serve as a hiding place for criminals. And again, taking money from the local government accounts to fund projects within the metropolitan city would rather be counterproductive. I think having this project here will definitely ease traffic congestion, and it will, in addition to beautifying the city, it will also bring more people for business activities in Kano. More investors would like to come to Kano to do their businesses here. So we are happy, even though the government is going to use money from local government and the state government to fund the project. But then we are very happy that this project is going to be here. Although all attempts to speak with one of the affected local government chairmen were not successful, it is therefore expected that the construction of these projects will begin any moment from now. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Dangote Refinery on Monday announced its readiness to commence production of refined petroleum products as it received the sixth batch of 1 million barrels of crude oil required by the plant for its initial operations. It says the fresh 1 million Agbami barrels of crude oil was the last cargo to complete the initial scheduled 6 million barrels consignment to be delivered to the Dangote facility for the commencement of operations by the world's largest single-train refinery. Exactly a month ago, the Dangote Refinery received the first 1 million barrels of Agbami crude grade from Shell International Trading and Shipping Company, one of the largest trading companies in Nigeria as well as on the global stage, trading in over 8 million barrels of crude oil per day. Now, since then, the Dangote Refinery has been receiving the crude oil in batches, and the sixth batch of 1 million barrels of the crude got discharged on Monday at the single point mooring at the Dangote offshore terminal. The managing director of the facility ports operation, Akin Omole, had told newsmen at the Dangote Quay that the refinery would be in good stead to commence operation once the 6 million barrels of crude had been delivered to the facility. On the international scene, let's take a look at developments and starting with France. Gabriel Attal has been named France's next Prime Minister as Emmanuel Macron aims to revive his presidency with a new government. At 34, he's the youngest ever Prime Minister in modern French history, overtaking even socialist Laurent Fabius, who was 37 when he was appointed by François Mitterrand back in 1984. Attal replaces Elizabeth Borne, who was resigned after 20 months in office. Throughout that time, she struggled with a lack of a majority in parliament. Gabriel, who is currently education minister, certainly makes an eye-catching appointment for the Macron government. He will now have the task of leading the French government into an important European Parliament election in June this year. In other international news, the death toll from the powerful earthquake that flattened parts of central Japan on January 1st crossed over 200 on Tuesday, with just over 100 persons still unaccounted for. The 7.3 magnitude quake destroyed and toppled buildings, causing fires and knocking out infrastructure on Noto Peninsula in Japan's main island, Nonshu, just as families were celebrating New Year's Day. 8 days later, thousands of rescuers are still battling blocked roads and poor weather conditions to clear the wreckage, as well as reach almost 3,500 people still stuck in the isolated communities. Ishikawa regional authorities released the figures on Tuesday, showing that 202 persons have been confirmed dead, which is up from the 180 earlier reported, with 102 unaccounted for. On Monday, authorities had more than tripled the number of missing persons to 323 after central database were updated, with most of the rise related to badly hit Wajima area. With heavy snow in places complicating relief efforts, as of Monday, almost 30,000 people were living in around 400 government shelters, some of which were packed and struggling to provide adequate food, water, and heating. Talking sports now, Chelsea's fullback Ian Maatsen has agreed to join Borussia Dortmund on loan until the end of the season. The deal does not include an option for Dortmund to make the deal permanent. Chelsea accepted a £31.5 million bid from Burnley for Maatsen in the summer, but he did not want to make the move. The Blues are likely to be open to selling the 21-year-old in the summer as they look to comply with financial fair play rules after heavy investment in the last 3 windows. The Netherlands under-21 international has made just 3 starts this season with a further 12 appearances off the bench. During a loan stint at Burnley last season, Maatsen played an important role in the Clarets winning the championship title and was named in the league's team of the season. Chelsea are open to signing a striker this window, but are unlikely to spend the money it would take to bring in Victor Osimhen from Napoli or Brentford's Ivan Toney. Mauricio Pochettino's side take on Middlesbrough in their EFL Cup semi-final first leg on Tuesday evening. Britain's Emma Raducanu withdrew from a charity match on Tuesday. That was part of our Australian Open build-up. The 2021 US Open champion is set to make her Grand Slam return next week in Melbourne after missing much of the 2023 events following an ankle and wrist surgery. Earlier, original opponent Naomi Osaka pulled out and was replaced by Donna Vekic for the match at the Melbourne Park. The charity match, the first of 4 scheduled to take place in the lead-up to the start of the Australian Open on Sunday, was later cancelled. World number 2 Carlos Alcaraz and Australian number 1 Alex de Minaur meet on Wednesday. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. As always, follow us across our social media platforms to catch up with more content, and take a look at our website trusttv.com for the latest news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time. We'll see you soon.